On 12 News tonight, a 25-year-old mystery solved. The medical examiner's office knew a man was murdered. They could tell his age and his height, but they didn't know his name. Couldn't find his family. Tonight, Kevin Kennedy has the story of an unknown man now identified.
The reality is most of these people will always be John or Jane Doe. But thanks to one woman's passion and an endless amount of patience, there are miracles.
You can definitely tell the chin in that picture.
Oh, yeah.
Todd Mertice is one of those miracles, a cold case Dr. Fulginetti has been working on more than 2 decades. A brother the sister always wondered and worried about.
Last call of September '86, my brother told me that he was in trouble.
Tonette was living in Washington, Todd in California. A few days after that call, Todd was murdered in, of all places, a rundown apartment in Phoenix. He had no ID, there was no suspect, and no family knew where he was.
I had something in my imagination that seemed pretty cut and dry, and I didn't think he'd ever be found, quite frankly.
Missing persons reports were filed, but detectives would never trace Todd to Phoenix, so for more than 2 decades, he went nameless, just another John Doe.
I just have always had a weird connection to him and wondered, how is it that nobody knows who you are?
DNA would be their only hope, but unidentifieds are the lowest priority. Killed in 1986, Todd's DNA wasn't taken and tested until last year.
Many people feel that they don't deserve to be identified or that the money shouldn't go towards that process.
What took 25 years to accomplish was connected by a national database in 1 week. Earlier this year, Tonette got a call she has waited more than half her life for.
It's really restored my faith in humanity, and people do care. I think when a family member is taken from us in the way that my brother was taken, he was brutally murdered and placed in a sleeping bag and taken to the desert and lit on fire, you can't even really fathom that kind of activity. Though I feel blessed that when I learned about all these gruesome details, it was painful to learn about the details of it, I immediately went to compassion. I just did, because I visualized the person who would be in so much pain to be able to do this to another human being. That's all I could really think about. I do believe that there's a reason for everything, and if I can use that reason to serve other people and their losses, or other people and just painful experiences in general, then I'm going to say that, I'm not going to say it's worth it, but I'm going to say that I accept. I accept it, and I do forgive. Since I was a little girl, I've felt this calling on my life. Specifically, I remember in church doing a Christmas program and singing This Little Light of Mine. I couldn't have identified it in that moment, and it took me decades to really fully get what it was. But I believe that the calling is to help people with love and forgiveness. To unconditionally love, to really unconditionally love, I think opens the doors for anything and everything in your life. You know, who are you currently, and what do you want? How do you want to feel? What are you feeling? We don't ask those questions. I think we're waking up. You can have love and peace and joy by living your life how you define it. And it takes a little bit of self-awareness, and that's hard sometimes. We have an easier time, you know, putting the emphasis outside of ourselves. It's easier, come on. But to put the emphasis inside and say, what do I need to do next? What do I need to do to fulfill this life that I've been given? And to put that emphasis inside, it's sometimes the hardest work people will do. We create through what we believe, and from our hearts and our minds. We create, and even our mouths. The heart is more powerful than the mind. What we speak about, what we think about, and how we feel are keys. The loving energy of the world will bring you favor. It just will. God will bring you favor. It's about receiving. It's a flow. And certainly it ties into the forgiveness as well. I mean, you're not going to fully be able to get that flow of love until you forgive.